Welcome to That Seasonaire podcast. I'm your host Gina. Stick with me as I chat to Seasonaires, expats and adventurers across the world sharing their inspiring stories and interesting insights into living and working abroad. Welcome to part one of this two-part episode, and it's the last guest of the season. We've got Squaddie turned snowboard coach. It's Dan Greenway.
It might come out wrong, but I would say I was lucky enough to get sent to Afghanistan because obviously it's part of the thing, isn't it? You know, you join the army and you join the army for a reason. I think part of that is getting used for the purpose that you join up for.
Right.
And I was lucky enough to get used for that purpose. So I went over and did my job in Afghanistan for 5.5 months.
Tune in as we run through Dan's journey from tours in Afghanistan to Seasonaire life in Soll, Austria. And stick with us right to the end of the show as we hear how a little white lie in the military led him to his passion and future career in snowboarding. This podcast is supported by Dope Snow. Head to the show notes now for a link to the community hub where you'll be the first to hear of all their coaching clinics and rail jams for next season. Here's the show. Dan Greenway, welcome to the show. How are we doing?
Fantastic, thank you.
Good. Good to have you in the studio. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally and what is your current situation?
So originally I'm from Hereford, England. It's a common mistake that people think it's in Wales when it's really not.
Oh, okay.
You know, that little gap in the border that goes into Wales, but it's actually England. That's Hereford.
I don't think I've ever been, actually.
No, I wouldn't recommend it. It's just fields and cows.
Okay. Not that different to where I live, to be honest, in the UK. But yeah, tell us about your current situation. Where are you currently residing?
So I live in a small village in the Austrian Alps called Soll, which is a part of a big ski resort called Skivelt, which have you been there before?
I have, actually. I've spent quite a few days and evenings out in Soll.
Fair play. Evenings out.
Oh, yeah, in the whiskey and yeah.
Yeah. That's,
what's the jam jar?
Sadly, the jam jar's closed down now.
Yeah, I heard that. But yeah, because I know Joe, our mutual friend Joe. Yeah. What's his surname? Joe
Cummings.
Joe Cummings. Yeah, I know Joe Cummings.
Great lad. Shout out to Joe Cummings.
Shout out Joe, you legend. Anyway, back on track. So you're living in Soll. How do you pronounce it?
Soll.
Okay, I can never. I'm like Soll. I'm that guy. Soll.
Everyone has that problem. I swear, you add an umlaut to any letter, and everyone's like, no.
Soll.
There you go. You got it.
Okay. All right, we'll go with that.
Nailed it first time.
Thank you so much. So you're living in Soll. How long have you been there?
Wow. A while now. I actually moved to Soll originally in early 2018, and I went away and came back, but I've always come back to Soll. So I would say I've lived there since 2018, really.
Right, okay.
Full time.
Okay, well, we'll go back a bit. We'll go back to the beginning, actually. So tell us how you came to leave the UK in the first place.
So I originally left the UK because I joined the army.
Okay. And what were you doing in the army?
I joined up. So I originally wanted to join up as an officer, but you had to go to this special college, which cost money and blah 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 blah. So my mum thought, what's the next best opportunity there? So I went for a job as an electronics technician.
Okay.
Which was really cool.
Yeah.
I was interested in maths and physics and stuff anyway, so it seemed like the right way to go.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky that I had the opportunity partway through training that they said, if you do this equipment course, you can get sent over to Germany.
Right.
Instantly, I was like, yes,
cool.
I want to get out of the UK.
Yeah.
So I moved over to Germany when I was 18-ish.
Oh, really?
And then spent 4 years based there, basically, and then moved everywhere from Germany when I was traveling around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was it always the plan that you just wanted to get out of the UK, or was that why you joined the army, or what was the kind of thought process behind it?
I spent, every kid, as they're growing up, they're like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And a lot of them have this dream job. For me, it was the army. And I wanted to do a load of different things in between. Like, I remember at one point when I was 9, I think I wanted to be a chef. Don't know why. But but after that subsided, I was like, back to the army. And it always came back to the army.
Okay.
Even when we're going through this, that point in high school where they're like, right now you need to start looking at sixth form college, blah, blah, blah. I was instantly just like, you know what, I'm going to go join the army.
Yeah,
earn
you just
some money.
Always wanted to do it.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I don't have any family heritage in the army. It was just something I fancied.
Yeah.
And it was sick. I've got to say, it was sick.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you see a lot, you do a lot, you meet a lot of people.
Yeah. Did you travel around a lot when you were in the army? So you went to Germany first, right?
Yeah.
And when did snowboarding come into it?
Really...
Or had you snowboarded before that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, so I moved to Germany, got to my first unit, and I'd heard that the unit were very keen on winter sports, just out of luck.
Okay.
So I'm there thinking, ooh, how can I get in here? And one of my mates, also called Dan, said to me, he was like, if you get asked about it, tell them you can.
Okay.
So
well, tell them you can snowboard?
Well, tell them I can do anything.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Do you want a toboggan? Yeah, sure. No, literally. So I had my initial interview. This is week 1 in unit, and my captain, my platoon officer, said to me, he's like, Dan, Greenway, can you do any winter sports? And I didn't even flinch. I was like, yeah, I've snowboarded before. And he then turned around to me. He was like, how many times? And I went, once. And he went, cool, you can go on a snowboard camp for me next week. To which I obviously went, I was like, oh no, I put myself in it here. But I got sent on a training day. There was actually, luckily, within a couple of hours, there was a ski resort near us called Winterberg.
Okay.
Got sent there for a training day. Got lent all the equipment and stuff. And the team captain took one look at me trying to put on the board and stand up. And he was like, you've never done this before, have you? I was like, no. And he was like, well, you better learn quick, you know?
Shit.
Yeah.
So,
honestly.
what was the idea in that camp? Was that for you to learn? Because obviously they thought you could snowboard. So was that to progress or what?
No, it was literally, so the first half of the, I'm going to call it a holiday. It wasn't supposed to be a holiday. It was supposed to be this serious sports camp where you have some fun, you go snowboarding, but it's all about the competition side of things.
Okay.
So the first half of it's like training within the racing, and then the second half is competition.
Okay.
And there's a lot of that in the army, to be fair. I've got to say, one thing that they're really good on is promoting people to take on different types of sports and etc. because they love the competitive aspect of it.
Yeah, because I always thought this, because I heard about actually when I did my first season, I think it's 2014. Yeah, and I was in Maribel. And they had some kind of competition there where it'd be like the army versus the navy.
Yeah. And that's how it progresses up. So you start at unit level, and if you obviously show talent or you do well within your unit, then you get bumped up to the next level of team, which would be your core squad, for example. So if you're in the REME like I was lucky enough to end up on the REME squad, and then after that you end up in the army squad and then the inter-services. And it's sick, actually.
Yeah.
It's really cool how you can progress.
Why do they do that? It's, like you say, you said about the competitive aspects. Is that just why, or is it like some sort of, I don't know, outlet?
Yeah, so I think there's definitely a level of outletting when it comes to a lot of the sports that the army promote, I would say. Because they're all about work hard, play hard, and that's something that is genuinely built into the ethos as you go along in the army. So that was actually really cool to be a part of, because it was very much work hard, play hard from the start. With the snowboarding, I've got to say, obviously they're instantly like, you need to learn right now. And I was very lucky in that first time that I went, because we went to Les Contamines in France, and in the 2 weeks that we were there, I have to say I progressed very well, and I actually came, like, out of all 60 of us who were racing, I came like 28th or something.
Okay. So
for my first time going, they obviously saw that and they were like, right, we're going to send him again.
Yeah.
And then that's how I got into it more. But as soon as we got down from the slopes, it was like, right, game on. And that was the real work,
the real pro line.
Yeah. I love it, because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell you this, but you get this daily food allowance when you're out on adventurous training, which is what the snowboarding was. And it's called Silo. Now, Silo can be used for whatever you really want, as long as you get receipts. So we used to go to the biller, or whatever the supermarket was, collect receipts that we didn't get, so that we could then go spend the money on beer. It was amazing. It was so cool. And these are the bosses, our staff sergeant and stuff, grabbing it. And they're like, come on, get more receipts so that we can get...
This is not the first time I've heard about this, actually.
Oh, really?
But I'm not going to divulge too much on the podcast. So you did... So did you end up doing quite a lot of competing in snowboarding in the army? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So from that, I was very lucky that I picked it up very quickly. Mm. And from then I got put on more race camps and therefore more freestyle camps as well. And that's how I got into this, I would say, flow of going on at least one, maybe two snowboard trips a year with the army, which was really cool. Maybe like 5 to 6 weeks a year. So I was very lucky.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long were you in the army for?
6 years.
Okay. And did you have to move around a lot, or?
I'll be honest. So I moved to Germany, But that was then my only real unit for the time because I did my training and then I got sent to Germany. I was stationed from Germany for the entirety of my time there.
Right.
From Germany, I did go to Canada, Afghanistan, but that was my hub.
Okay, okay. What were you doing over in Canada?
Primarily working, so you get sent over there. There's this big area in Alberta called the Prairie, and it's essentially a grassy desert the size of Wales.
Oh, wow.
And they do a lot of adventurous training, a lot of exercises there. So you obviously like training for, I'm going to say battle simulation. It's not battle simulation, for certain scenarios, etc. And then everyone actually gets to do their job. Because obviously we do our job in camp, so my job, for example, was fixing tanks, fixing radio systems, fixing camera systems, this sort of stuff. We actually got to do it under the simulation of we're now under attack or this,
really?
that, and the other.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool, really cool. At the time, you hate it, I'll be honest, because you're getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go on sentry, you're doing this, that, and the other, and you think, why am I here? But looking back on it, it was pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you mentioned that Afghanistan.
Yes, yeah, I did. It might come out wrong, but I would say I was lucky enough to get sent to Afghanistan because obviously it's part of the thing, isn't it? You join the army and you join the army for a reason. I think part of that is getting used for the purpose that you join up for.
Right.
And I was lucky enough to get used for that purpose. So I went over and did my job in Afghanistan for 5.5 months. While you were in Meribel, actually.
Yeah.
2014.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't really remember what was going on over there in 2014. Where were we at that point?
We were very much at the back end of the whole thing, I would say.
Okay.
So I was on Operation Herrick 19, which was the second to last 6-month tour that was going on out there. So after I left, basically, they started to, they were already doing it while I was there, closing down Camp Bastion and getting ready to hand it back over to the Afghanis. Yeah.
Okay.
It was really cool. Bit hot though.
Was it?
Yeah. The worst part about Afghanistan, the heat. It was like, bearing in mind I'm ginger, right? You take a small ginger guy and you put him in a desert at 55 degrees, and then you say you can drink all the water you want, but these pallets of 1 litre water bottles are left out in the sun all day.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So just warm water.
Yeah. It was great.
Oh, God.
It was great.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
So, how long? So you said there's 6 years you were in the army.
Yep.
What was the plan after that?
I mean, the reason I left the army, I would say, was because I came to this. I always describe it as this realization that no matter how well I do, no matter how high I rise, no matter blah blah blah, there's always going to be an arsehole telling me what to do, and you can't avoid that. You know, it's always the way. And I didn't want that. My original plan was to stay in the army for a much longer period of time, but I came to this realization. I was like, you know what, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And then the decision to leave came, and you give in your year's notice. And originally, I wanted to be a tattoo artist when I left.
Okay.
I was very into my art. I've always been into art
Have
anyway.
you?
Yeah.
Okay,
I enjoy like drawing and mainly drawing, to be fair. So I fancied that for a bit, and then I was like, I don't know if I actually want to go into like an apprenticeship where you don't get paid any money. You go through the ladder system where you start.
Got to go right at the bottom.
Exactly. And then I obviously realised that I wanted to continue to snowboard. No matter what I was doing, I wanted to make sure that I could still do that, which was when, a simple Google sent me in the right direction. I want to snowboard. What should I do? Become a snowboard instructor.
So how had you progressed throughout your time in the army? So what sort of stage were you at when you left? With the snowboarding, sorry.
Oh, with the snowboarding. I would say, but if you'd asked me at the time, I'd have said I'm sick. I look back on that guy and I think you weren't sick, but no, I was doing well. Like I was in the core team. I was competing on a regular yearly basis, and I was doing quite well.
Yeah.
I've back at my parents' place. I've got a few trophies and medals that are collecting dust.
And what sort of style of snowboarding kind of took your fancy at that point?
Definitely freestyle.
Yeah.
I've always had more of an interest, even from when I was a kid playing SSX Tricky on the PlayStation or whatever. Like I want to be breakdancing in the air,
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you left the army. Sorry, going forward again, and you were looking for a new career path, and you decided instructing would be the way to go.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I didn't plan it as a long-term situation.
Yeah.
I just thought, that's sick. I can do a course. I don't need that much to get on the course. So yeah, so I dived in head first, basically. I had quite a few, luckily I was quite sensible with my money in the army.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd saved up a bit of money to put behind me and to put into this course, which I now realise I spent far too much money on.
Actually, quite a lot of people have come on the show and said the same thing, where they've gone, it was, now looking back, I could have done it a different way.
Massively,
so,
yeah.
How did you go about it, and how would you go about it now?
So I went through a company, I'd just like to say this isn't slagging off the company.
No, of course.
I thought my course was amazing. It was 6 weeks long, and it was a dual anverter, so the snowboard and skiing instructor qualification.
Okay, cool.
Hadn't skied before the course, just for the record. Another little white lie that I told to get into the industry.
Seems to be a theme here, Dan.
Yes. It was really funny though, because the stipulation to get on the course was you had to be advanced in one discipline,
right,
and you had to do 4 weeks in the other. So I was like, cool, I would describe myself as advanced in snowboarding right now. That's no problem, tick. Sure, I've done 4 weeks on the skis, tick. Oh man, it was horrendous though. On day one, they made us go and buy all of new equipment, which we got a discount for because we went through them, but you're still spending like $1,000 on skis, boots, poles, blah, blah, blah.
Jeez.
And then on day one, we all go up the mountain. They take us right to the top of the Kitzsteinhorn.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, right, now we're all going to ski down together, and we're going to look at how you ski and separate you into groups for the course. Everyone skis off, and there's me and one other lad left over at the top, looking at each other really sheepishly. I'm like, have you skied before, mate? No. You? No.
Must have both had that look in your eye.
Looking at the last
Guilt.
3 people, like, going away, we're like, let's try and copy what they're doing. Like this really, really bad snowplow coming down a red piece.
No.
Yeah, we got in a lot of trouble for that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, honestly. We almost got kicked off the course on day one. Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But going back to the point, I went through SIA, is the name, Ski Instructor Academy.
Okay.
And like I said, sick course, really cool. Cool instructors, cool people. You get to meet a lot of different people, obviously, from different backgrounds. So it's actually a really good way to introduce into the industry. Mm-hmm. But it was like $6,500. Right?
Oh my God.
It was expensive.
Is that with the gear, like all the equipment that you had to buy, or is that on top of that?
No, that's on top of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was an expensive 6 weeks. Luckily, I was still getting paid. So I left the army slightly early and went on resettlement leave. So I was getting paid by the army whilst on this course. Mm-hmm. But it's not cheap, you know. No. And then I find out 4 months later that I could have done it for $1,500 if I'd known about it. But, you know, you live and you learn.
You do. So you did it for 6 weeks?
Yeah, okay. About 6 weeks.
So about 6 weeks, you got all your training that you needed, and you had accommodation, stuff like that, I guess, was included. What was the difference in the course that was $1,500?
It's definitely shorter, as far as I'm aware. So my fiancée Abby did the anverter that I think was about $1,500. This one, I don't know that much about it, but I think it was maybe 10 days long, 9 or 10 days long. Okay. So it's much shorter, a bit more intense, a lot more strict on the German, as far as I'm aware.
Okay,
because that's obviously a big aspect. Whereas if you're on a 6 week course, they nurture us into it, you know, and it's also a bit looser, as far as I'm aware. So it's shorter. I think the accommodation was included in the money that she paid. I think so.
Wow.
So I mean, realistically, why do you need to go and spend $6,500 on it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a bit odd.
I guess they hold you. I mean, for me, I was very lucky because they taught me to ski and then taught me to teach. You know, so I needed that course really. But I wouldn't. I don't think I would recommend it. No. Over the cheaper option
for sure. So you got your qualifications. What happened then?
I was very lucky. One of the instructors on my course was from Soll. He was living in the same accommodation as me, and we got on quite well. His name's actually Danny. And he told me, like, he'd obviously seen me. He wasn't instructing me. He was instructing a different group, but he'd seen me around the mountain and stuff. And he was like, you should come to Soll, because we were getting on, etc. So I said, absolutely. So I asked the boss of the course, I said, because we don't really have much control at that point where we get sent to. You know, some people were getting sent to St. Anton, blah, blah, all over the shop. So I said to him, I was like, I would have a preference towards Soll if that's okay. And he was like, yeah, no worries. So
just going back, the training that you did then guaranteed you a job at the end, did it?
Yes, it did come with a job guarantee.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And some people actually paid more to get a job guarantee in St. Anton, for example.
Really?
Yeah. Certain resorts, people paid a bit more for. I don't know how much more, but definitely a bit more.
Okay.
Bit weird.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of agreement there between them. And,
it must be. Yeah. Mm.
But then I also suppose in St. Anton you've got a ski school with maybe like 200 people in it, 200 instructors. Whereas in Soll, for example, our ski school had like 50 or 60 people. So you know. But yeah, I was very lucky. I got sent to Soll with another lad off the course.
Amazing.
Went there and boom.
Yeah.
Fell in love with the place instantly.
Seasonaire.
Seasonaire. And that's how they're made. Straight out the Seasonaire factory.
Straight out the factory to the podcast. Awesome. So were you a Seasonaire though? Were you staying there just for the winter, or what was the plan?
That winter, absolutely.
Okay.
I went to Soll as a Seasonaire, and I didn't, as much as I did fall in love with the place instantly, I was in awe of it. But I did also have plans to go to New Zealand, which I wanted to stick to. And I was supposed to originally go with a few friends, but they dropped out. So I ended up, post that first season, ended up going to New Zealand on my own to do a winter out there.
Oh, wow.
It was really cool.
Whereabouts in New Zealand were you?
I was based in Queenstown.
Okay.
I was living just outside of Queenstown, working at Coronet Peak, which we called that season Concrete Peak. It was not much snow.
Not much snow, yeah. A little bit different, huh?
Yeah.
When you were in Canada, actually, did you get to go snowboarding there?
I wasn't that lucky. No, I was there during the summer.
Okay.
I was very lucky that I got to go rock climbing at Lake Louise.
Oh, that sounds cool.
That was so cool,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
And then afterwards, we went for a dip in the lake, and it's glacial water that was like 4 degrees.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Awesome. Going back to your first season, because we didn't go through that very much.
Yeah.
What were the kind of highlights from that season? Was there anything that kind of sticks out in your memory of things that you did or anything like that?
Definitely. I mean, I would say that first season is when I really fell in love with snowboarding.
Okay.
As well as the local area, you know, like the sport itself, it just sort of overtook me, and I was like, I need to do this forever. I was also very lucky that I met some really good lifelong friends. One of my best mates, Seb. Have you met Seb?
I don't think I have.
Such a cool dude. And I also was very lucky that I met my fiance.
Shout out, Abby.
Yeah. Love you, baby.
Oh, what a legend. We'll have to get her on the show, actually. Yeah. How did you meet? How did you meet Abby?
So I actually met Abby's brother before I met Abby. I was working with him in the same ski school.
Oh, right.
Which is really cool. Shout out to Wedgie. But I was in my accommodation the one day, and my two of my best mates, Seb and Mushy, his name is, which is actually a very naughty word in German, but his surname was Muschamp, so that was his nickname. They just came screaming into the accommodation. They were like, "You've got to meet this new girl who's here. You've got to meet her. She's well fit." And I was like, okay. So they dragged me to the jam jar, and obviously go there for a few pints and stuff. And then in comes this girl. And I'll be honest, my instant reaction was like, she has a massive head. And I even said that to them.
Oh my God.
She knows this. This isn't news, by the way.
Oh, poor Abby.
Honestly, I was like, that's a big head. But and then obviously got to meet her, and it took about a week to sort of warm to her, you know, for her to sort of come into the friendship group, etc. But I would say maybe a week or maximum 2 weeks later, we were all just best friends.
Yeah.
And we actually had, I don't know who came up with the nickname, but we were called the Drama Queens that season.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that, thinking back to it. But no, it was really cool. It was really cool. And then we literally just became 4 best friends for that winter season, and that was it.
Going back, you fell in love with snowboarding. Was your snowboarding progressing a lot then at that point?
Yes. Yeah, I would say so. I was very keen to get up for first lifts before ski school, for example. You know, I would say it was our first season, so we were out drinking every night, but that didn't take away the fact that we were up there as much as we could be. Cool. Before ski school, after ski school, during lunch, we were always lapping.
And how was it working in the ski school? So this is your first experience of being an instructor.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So week one, I mentioned Danny, who was the one, the instructor who got me to come to Soll. One of the stipulations was he was saying, sorry, not stipulations. One of the things that he was saying to me was, "Don't worry, I'll get you all the snowboard work. I'll sort you out." So I'm like, quids in.
Yeah.
Turn up there week one. Straight into Kinderland.
Oh no.
With the skis. Pizza. And I'm like, oh, this isn't why I came here. This is not why I came here. But so I ended up doing a long 2-week stint in Kinderland before I did go to the boss, and I was like, look, I feel like I can offer a lot here teaching snowboarding. I know I'm brand new. But he took it seriously, and he put me straight onto snowboard. So I did then have a really nice mix between skiing and snowboarding.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, I loved teaching, you know, like it was obviously teaching beginners constantly. So teaching people how to slide, teaching people how to stop. But I found it really cool.
Yeah.
I found it really cool.
Awesome. For anyone who is just about to go into, or for anyone who is thinking about it for next season, becoming an instructor, is there any kind of tips that you would give anyone for their first season as a snowboard or ski instructor? Is there anything that you think, oh, I wish I had known that?
I mean, yes, I would definitely say if you're thinking about becoming an instructor, speak to someone who is one first.
Yeah.
Before deciding where to do your course, where to go and do a season, etc., etc. Having that inside knowledge makes a massive difference with how much you have to pay, once again.
Yeah.
And also the atmosphere that you find yourself in afterwards. I think that makes a big difference. With the actual ski school itself, I would say take everything lightheartedly because you're a tiny cog in a massive wheel. That does depend on which ski school. I know there's much smaller ones where you're a bigger part of it instantly, but don't expect to be getting top groups on your first week because that's the dream and no one ever gets it. I can't wait to teach these people to rip. Here's some beginners. Yeah. Fantastic.
Awesome. So you then decided to go across to New Zealand, as you said, and you went on your own. I did plan to go with a couple of mates, as I mentioned, but they dropped out due to poor planning. Okay. And me being the king that I am at planning, I went. So at this point, you'd met Abby. Were you together?
No.
Okay, so just mates.
Yeah, we were just mates. I was actually, at the time, I was seeing a girl from Austria.
Okay.
Before the end of that season finished. But then we obviously said, this can't become anything yet because I'm going away for 6 months, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
However, she ended up coming to visit me in New Zealand. And we went on a bit of a travel together, which was nice. I got to see a lot of stuff in New Zealand. I got to go to Hobbiton. I'm like a real life hobbit, and I got to go to Hobbiton. It was insane. So sick.
Any more highlights? Any other highlights for New Zealand, or were you instructing in New Zealand as well?
I was. Okay. I was working in a ski school there, which was really cool because it was a different perspective on how they teach. Because I'd say the big difference between there and Austria is they have instructors from all over the world. So you've got loads and loads of different teaching methods all in one place. Yeah. In Austria, it's like, you will teach like the Austrians, It's worst Austrian accent ever. So one really cool difference was one that I saw in, I think she was Australian. I saw her teaching a group of kids and she was teaching them how to slide. And she was explaining that there's a bug underneath their edge and they can't squash the bug.
Okay.
So they've got to find this perfect balance where they're sliding, but they can't squash this bug by putting their edge completely down because obviously they'd fall over then. And I looked at that and I was like, you would never get that in Austria. That's that kind of analogy to give to kids. Yeah. Because I don't know if it's a difference in the way that we imagine things or whatever it is, but it was really refreshing to see loads of different teaching methods in one spot.
That's cool.
And it was cool for experience as well because there were quite a few things like gas pedals, for example, something I talk about a lot in snowboard teaching. That was something that I took away from, I believe, the Canadian teaching system in New Zealand when I was there. Yeah.
Cool.
It was amazing.
Nice. Any other things that went on in New Zealand? Any other notable differences or positives, negatives?
We went on a little excursion called Milford Sound. No, Doubtful Sound it was called. There's a famous one there called Milford Sound, but it was like $200 more expensive. So we were like, let's go on this Doubtful Sound one. And it's essentially a ferry journey out into the fjords out there. Okay. And you stay overnight and then you come back. Insane trip, but the whole journey over there, the captain's talking about all the sharks in the water.
Oh, God.
And I don't like sharks. It's one of my big fears.
Really?
Honestly. That's why I go on frozen water, not salt water. But all the way out there, he's talking about the different kinds of sharks, including great whites. So I'm obviously like cacking myself because when we stopped, he's like, cool, now you can jump off the back of the boat. And this girl that I was traveling with at the time, she doesn't give a shit. She's like straight in the water, like, come on. And you can't not go if you've got, as a dude, if you've got the girl that you're traveling with in the water, you're going, come on in. I'm not going to go, no, there might be sharks. So I had to jump in, and I've never gotten out of water so quickly in my life. Really? I swear, honestly, I jumped in, everything went black. I was like, no, straight back up.
Absolutely not.
I've been in, I'm done. Yeah. But that was a really cool trip.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So after New Zealand, what was the plan after that?
Initially, there wasn't really one. I knew I wanted to go back to Soll about... In fact, I think I'd already spoken to the ski school boss to say I'd probably be back next season. So I think I did have a potential plan there to go back to Soll. But post-New Zealand, I spent my last month in New Zealand in Auckland with no money left.
Oh, no.
I was living off rice eggs and lemon pepper.
Oh my God.
Every night for dinner. It was horrendous. Like I had no money, so I was walking to this little park in Auckland every day and feeding birds. That was like my life. That, and then editing some videos from the travels.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. That was my life. But post that month, which was very humbling, went back to the UK and had a job as a customer service rep for 1 month.
Wow.
For a clothing company.
Oh, really?
I almost killed myself. I swear to God.
Really?
Yeah, I am not designed for office work.
Okay.
Honestly, I had to buy a Rubik's Cube. So I was there like going nuts with this, and when that didn't work, I resorted to flicking elastic bands at people. Honestly, I was not designed for it.
No.
So I ended up slyly just not coming back one day.
Okay.
Yeah. Not my proudest moment.
So you came out of the army. You went to Soll.
Yeah.
So that was the winter. Then it was the summer, I guess, over here when you were in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So you did back-to-back winters.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you went to the UK, did your office job, sacked that off.
Yeah.
And then came back to Austria.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So I, like you say, as you eloquently put it, I sacked it off, and then made my way back to Austria, back to Soll.
Yeah.
Where instantly that was when I knew when I came back, because all of my friends are still there.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, like the mountain's still there, the snow's there, and I'm like, this is where I want to live now.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'll be honest, one of the factors of me wanting to live there was also the fact that I had now sort of committed slightly more to seeing this girl that I went traveling with prior.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were getting closer. I made the decision pretty much on day one of getting back. I'm going to live here.
Nice.
And it worked.
All right. So back to the ski school. Same ski school?
Yeah, same ski school, same position.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's pretty much exactly the same. However, I had done something that I forgot to mention is prior to going to New Zealand, I did my next level of qualification in snowboarding.
Right.
Which is called the Landes.
Okay.
Which is slightly more in depth, off-piste, park riding, this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that in conjunction with an avalanche course.
Right.
And it basically gives you this ability to teach people in the park and teach people off-piste.
Nice.
Yeah.
And where did you do that? Was that in Austria?
Yes, yeah, that was in
Okay.
Austria. I did it on the Kitzsteinhorn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So at this point, you decided Austria is the way forward for you.
100%.
Yeah.
I'd already committed quite a lot to learning the German at this point as well.
Okay.
And I actually had this major interest in the fact, like dialect.
Yeah.
I had this major interest in that, essentially, because to me it was like Glaswegian but with German, and I was like, that's cool. So I'd sort of committed a little bit to learning that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd say at that point I was already very much in the door of
Mm-hmm.
staying in Austria.
And how did you want to kind of sustain that? Were you going to continue to work for the ski school, and like what were you going to do in summers?
I'll be honest, until like March the next year, I had no clue.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, ski school's great. I love ski school. I don't mind coming back to ski school, but I need a summer job.
Yeah.
So I'm panicking more and more throughout the winter. And I think a lot of seasonaires can probably empathise with that. It's one of the the big problems, isn't it? It's like, what am I going to do next year?
I'm doing it now. Yeah. I'm like, what am I going to do in summer? I don't know.
What can you do?
Make some more podcasts, I guess. I don't know.
It's such a nightmare, isn't it?
It
to find,
is. Yeah.
So I was in this predicament for a while, and obviously the German was a big factor as well, because I was looking at a lot of jobs. Like I actually initially thought I could be an electrician again, like I did in the army. You need the language.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So then a lot of the guys pointed me in the direction of this job, this working at a high ropes garden.
Okay.
Which sounds sick, but they all forewarned me heavily. They were like, the money's shit, the boss is shit, job's all right, but the customers are shit.
What is it?
Like Go Ape.
Yeah.
In the UK, it's similar to that, but slightly smaller, on the side of a mountain, so it's very appealing.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. I had an interview with the guy, and I was like, blah 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 blah. Like, I'm Dan. Obviously, introduced myself, and there's this French guy. I'm not going to name him, but I would name and shame if I was allowed to. I got this summer job working at this high ropes garden, which was awesome because it enabled me to practice my German.
Mm-hmm.
Even the small things like bringing in harnesses and then getting to practice numbers. Because we've got like 300 harnesses, and then we're counting them. And I had the pleasure of taking people on Segway tours, which was sick.
Oh, really?
It was sick.
Oh, wow.
It was sick the first few times. After that, it got really annoying. But there's nothing quite as funny as watching an overweight man try and go uphill on a Segway. Just watching it give up, honestly. Such a nightmare.
Oh my God, I'd do it just for that.
Honestly. But then you've got this awkward point afterwards where you've got to tell him, you could be like, I'm so sorry, you're going to have to step off and walk with it for the next few meters. He's going to be like, why? Why is it not working? Well, there is a reason.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Sensitive.
Yeah, slightly sensitive. But it was really sick because, you know the Wilde Kaiser, the big mountaineers. The Segway tours were essentially to show people that. So, we're doing routes really along it. It was really cool. It was really cool. And yeah, so I did that the first summer. And I'll quickly skip through the next few summers. I worked as a painter.
Okay.
Because my German got to a point where I was like, I'm willing to go into a job now where I can converse with locals. Even though when I first arrived there, I had no understanding of what anyone was saying.
No.
They were like, in dialect.
Yeah.
And I'm just there like, okay. But I learned a lot of dialect through that. Once again, made some lifelong friends. Shout out to Jaime. And yeah, that was my summer job for maybe 3 or 4 summers.
Really?
I think.
Painting?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's nothing exciting. And I'll be honest, I didn't really enjoy the job, but the boss was incredible.
Aww.
Lovely guy, half English.
It does make a difference though when you like the people you either work for or with.
Massively. I'd say, in fact, I think that's quite a good bit of advice for any Seasonaire. It's like if you find yourself with a good team, that can make life a lot better than a good wage sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Okay, so continuing to do winters as an instructor, I guess?
Yes, yeah, for those, I'm not actually sure how many winters. I did continue to work at the ski school. I had my eye on the Einteiler job in the ski school for a while, which is the job that a good friend of mine, Veroni, she does. It's basically like the manager of the snowboard section. I'd always say to her, I was like, when are you going to quit? When are you going to quit? And she was like, not yet, Dan. I'm like, okay. But no, I had my eye on that for a while until I kind of hit this saturation point with ski school.
Okay.
Which was actually around about COVID. I worked as a ski instructor the year prior, going up to COVID.
Right.
But when I came back, something had changed. It's hard to pinpoint what had changed, but I felt like I had slightly more to offer than what the ski school...
like what they were selling.
Yeah, than what they were selling, yeah. So I had a long, hard think about when I came back. But I've got to say, I've got to rewind slightly. Just pre-COVID, that season was when Abby and I gained feelings for each other, to put it lightly. PG and all of that. Yeah, we very much developed feelings for each other during that season. Shamefully, nothing happened, but shamefully while I still had a girlfriend.
Okay.
And then literally pre-COVID, the old switcheroo happened.
Okay.
I'll call it, which once again is shameful, but it happened. Yeah. And I ended up going back to the UK for Abby during 4 months of COVID.
Oh, really?
Which was really cool, actually, because we were very lucky that Abby's dad has a hotel in the UK.
Okay.
So we go back to this hotel, and they had figured out a way that they could deliver food to people during COVID. So they were helping like a lot of the old people in the local community and stuff, which was amazing to see. And we got to be a part of that. So we got to help them out. And as things started to open up, we created a burger bar, which was insane. There was literally like a massive marquee, and we set up like literally like a Mackey's drive-through. So you've got social distancing involved and all of this stuff, and people could drive through this marquee and collect food from it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Mackey's wasn't open because the local Mackey's did open for like 2 weeks, and the queues were so bad that they had to close it again.
Oh wow!
So obviously no one's got anything else to do. What are you going to do today? Go for a burger. Sick. So yeah, we did that for a while. And then Abby and I came back together in that August of 2020. And that was when we started living together in Austria.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So August 2020. So that was... Okay, so that was still during the lockdown.
Yes, yeah. We were very lucky.
But presumably you had to come back before Brexit went across. Is that right?
That was a big factor. Yes, yeah. We were very keen to get an apartment and get ourselves sorted before the Brexit bracket closed, because we knew it was imminent. It obviously, remember it had been pushed back a few times, but we were very keen to just get in there and get things sorted. So we did.
Yeah.
Cool. And it was we were very lucky.
Is Abby from the same place as you in the UK?
No. So Abby, as far as I'm aware, Abby was born in Worcestershire. She grew up around the Midlands, but her dad now lives on the south coast with his hotel. And he comes and visits us quite a lot in Soll, which is really nice. And her mum lives in Newcastle.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But we'll leave that to her when she comes on the show.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, so you're back in Soll.
Yeah.
You managed to get an apartment.
Yeah, not initially.
Yeah.
We
Presumably all your accommodation before was provided by the job, was it?
Yes, yeah, we were very lucky that the ski school we worked for did supply Seasonaire accommodation, which was really cool. Actually, I've got to say the accommodations that we stayed in, they weren't the nicest, but the atmospheres with the groups, it was incredible.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, sometimes you don't get that.
No. But then, we came back together and we ended up in this slightly dingy apartment that was going to get torn down in a few months anyway.
Okay.
But we knew it was a temporary fix. And then we had that time. We knew that as soon as we were in Soll, we'd be able to find a place easier than from the UK.
Yeah, for sure.
So we stayed in this shithole.
Crackden. It's okay. We allow swearing on the show. Just go for it. It was a shithole. Sorry. Carry on.
But yeah, we stayed there for a bit. I don't know how many months, to be honest with you. But we were so lucky that we came across, one of our friends told us about this place that had just been newly renovated. We went and checked it out. Gorgeous. For a very fair price. We were like, we're in. Would sign us today. You know?
Yeah.
And then we've lived there ever since.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What an absolute gent. Tune in again next week as me and Dan talk viral videos and we run through all the questions to help you on your next adventure.
Just sounds wrong.
Yeah, it sounds horrible, doesn't it?
If I didn't know about COVID and someone said to me lateral flow, I'm like, ew.
As always, thanks to Mike at Mike's Sports Bar for the studio space. Thanks to sponsors Dope Snow. Thanks to Mondo Wave for the music. And thanks to you guys for tuning in. See you all again next time. I had a Kaiserschmarrn. It hasn't filled me up.
Oh, it hasn't filled you up?
No.
Jeez.
It did at the time. It's worn off now. I had like 2 pieces of it and I was like, it's a bit much. And then now I'm like, I'm freaking starving.
I could do another Kaiserschmarrn.
Yeah, exactly.